All right, it looks like I am at least partially the better version of myself today, as I brought out our screen capturing hardware to be able to show you what's going on with this screen. We just have a standard video feed loaded up, and I am actually going to reboot this developer HP. And this is because yesterday when we were out doing an outreach event, we were changing some of the settings. So the camera was in side-by-side thermal view and normal electro-optical view. We have now swapped that to just like the normal camera electro-optical view. Wow, Jacob, how about you enunciate your words? How about try not having a canker sore on my tongue? How about that, huh? Woe is me. All right, well, we are just going to let QGroundControl load here, finish establishing a connection, and then we'll plan a mapping mission. So that's what we're out here for. You know, it took a minute to get to that. I don't know, a minute. Let's see, something like a minute. Three hours later. Didn't even commit to doing that. Wow. All right, we are now going to the plan screen, and I'm just going to select blank, going to select takeoff. We're going to adjust the altitude for this mission to, let's do 80 feet, because when have we ever had problems at 80 feet up with one of these developer HPs? All right, and the takeoff position should now be 80 feet. Now we should be able to go ahead and add a survey pattern. We're just going to make it a basic survey pattern. And let's set the area of the map that we want to map out. We're going to make it a very, very small mission. Wow, look at that. And we need to enter in the specs for this camera. Again, this is the SIYI ZT6, and you can also look at the specs for the A8 Mini, also made by SIYI. Now, these are all of the values that we have found. They're not actually published anywhere, so these may not actually be the correct values, so I guess try them at your own risk. No really risk involved. It just may be, you know, blurry photos. So if we have any updated information, I'll be sure to share it, but right now this should be what you enter in. So 7.6 for the sensor width, 5.7 for the height. Let me just, hey, I'll call you right back. I'm filming a video downstairs. Love you, bye. Where's the mixer? I was making milkshakes last night. And not in the typical spot. All right, 7.6 millimeters, 5.7 millimeters, and then the width in pixels is 4096, being 4K. Takes 4K photos, 8 megapixel photos. And the focal length, this is where I'm least confident this is the correct value, but according to, you know, AI search results, yeah, I don't think any way that's right, but let's see. 70% overlap, altitude of 80 feet. Let's just do 50% overlap, 50% side lap. That's still, yeah, I don't think that's the correct focal length, but we'll try out the mission anyway. We'll just do a lot less overlap than what you would actually want to do for a mapping mission. Typically you want about 70–75% or more. Anywhere above like really 80% is probably a point of diminishing returns, or past the point of diminishing returns, and you're just going to need a lot more processing power to really take advantage of all of those extra photos. All right, 80 feet, and we'll do 25% for the front overlap as well. That's still quite a long mission. It says it'll take 3 minutes and 16 seconds. I think it'll take longer than that. We don't want any turnaround distance. We want to stay within the polygon. That seems a little bit better. I say let's try that out, because at the end of the day we just want to make sure it's taking the photos. And for whatever reason, if it's not taking the photos, chances are, I would venture to say, this switch right here, SE, needs to be flipped to the middle or downward position. The light is not making our cameraman happy, apparently. I just got like a what the man, sort of. All right. Assuming you're ready to go, we'll try this mapping mission, Brian. Or unnamed cameraman. Oh, yeah, it did just start. That is lovely. So let's give this a go, and we might have to cut it shortly. Cut it short. I didn't stick the antenna up, which isn't actually strictly needed because we're not using that radio, but. All right. The first mapping mission of this developer HP, and it is booking it. And let's just hope it, stays up in the air the entire time. Hope, right? Total. So it's showing that it's capturing photos. Now, I did not point the gimbal downwards, so this isn't actually much of a mapping mission in the traditional sense, but I thought I just heard a crack. I was like, uh-oh. Yep. Sorry to the people trying to follow along in the real world, but you can follow along here on the map on screen. This developer, HP, is booking it. I definitely want to also recommend doing a mapping mission at this speed. But again, we're just proving it can be done here, people. Yeah, it's taking a lot. Do you hear that like crackling sort of noise? I hope it's not like the propellers hitting that antenna. I don't think there's even really a possibility for that to happen, but I'm not sure what else it could be. Maybe the top cover? Again, I hope not. But, famous last words. We're almost done, so let's just hope it can finish up this last little stretch. Last couple little stretches. Not the most well planned out mission, flying almost overhead our camera operator, but. All right. So it seems like it finished the mission. And let's go ahead and hit RTL. Slide to confirm. And away she goes. I mean, very smooth flight the entire time. I just don't know what that crackling noise is. And I say smooth flight the entire time. It is not all the way down yet, so. Yeah, it looks like the antenna is now sticking up. So I wonder if something happened with the top cover to where it popped up. But yeah, I bet it was the antenna being hit by the propellers. That's what it looks like. So typically that wouldn't happen, but typically we also have the antenna pointing straight up. So that's something to take note of. Do better than I do in the pre-flight. And so yeah, that was a little loose, and so that was definitely the noise. Just inspecting the props. Well, at least if it happens like it did for us, you don't have to really worry about the developer coming down if your props are hitting the antenna, but nonetheless, you'll want to be a little bit more diligent than I was ahead of this flight. We'll go ahead and check out all the photos back in the office, and those will be included, at least some of them, in the video, as long as everything here worked properly. But I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.